Hello, coin collectors out there. Welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. Hopefully, everyone is having a great day as always. In today's video, we are going to focus in on these two coins right here. We've got 1958 Lincoln Pennies and we've got 1959 Lincoln Pennies. Now, if you're into coin collecting, you know what happened between these 2 years right here. But if you're just getting into it, you might find this video very interesting. And if you're an experienced coin collector, you might find the error coin that we're going to talk about in the second half of the video very exciting. It involves the Mule Era 1959, and that coin is worth quite a lot of money. Now, what's the difference between these right here? Well, there isn't much difference between 1957 and 1958, but then when we go from 58 to 59, look at that. We've got a different design on the reverse side of the coin. So that will be our main focus in today's video, talking about the design change. Now, we'll also talk about the mintages, the metal content, the key dates in both the Wheat Ears series and the Lincoln Memorial series. We will also talk about the Mule Era coin, and we'll cap it off with the foreign coin showcase. We'll talk about these two coins right here. Both of them are from the Philippines. Now, there's some very popular videos out there about Philippines coins. Those get quite a lot of views on YouTube. So maybe you'll find these two coins. We'll save these for probably the last minute or so of today's video. We'll just talk about the basics and look at the obverse and the reverse side of these two coins. All right, now back to these coins right here. So the 1958. Now, did the design change between the 2 years? We go from the Wheat Ears reverse to the Lincoln Memorial reverse. The Wheat Ears reverse was on the reverse side of the Lincoln penny from 1909 until 1958. Now, the key date in that entire series is going to be the year 1909, the very first year they came out, because there was actually a design change midway through the year. Midway through the year, they took off the the designer's initials, Victor David Brennan, from the reverse side of the coin. So starting out, they had his initials VDB right here in this little part on the coin. However, people were upset about that because they thought he was self-promoting himself by putting his initials in such a obvious and kind of a noticeable location on the reverse side of the Lincoln penny. So that's why there are no initials right here on the penny. However, during that little period that he did have his initials on them, there are 484,000 pieces that were struck with the designer's initials. That makes it the rarest of all of the Lincoln pennies. The 1909 San Francisco Mint VDB Lincoln cent, there were only 484,000 of those that were made. However, we're not looking at the 1909, or looking at the 1958. And in 1958, there are 252,525,000 that were made at the Philadelphia Mint in 1958. Now, you can identify the difference between the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint between that initial mint mark right there on the obverse side of the coin, right underneath the date. Now, in 1958, there were 800 million of them that were made at the Denver Mint. So in 1958, we had 252 million coming out of the Philadelphia Mint, 800 million coming out of the Denver Mint. The average mintage across all of the Wheat Ears is 184 million. Now on to the mintage for this coin right here that you see on the right, the 1959. Now that we know where the mint mark is, we can move that 1957 out of the way, and I will zoom in on this right here. In 1959, there are 609 million of them that were made with the Lincoln Memorial at the Philadelphia Mint. Any guesses on how many were made at the Denver Mint? Well, interestingly, there are actually more than double that. There are over 1 billion that were made. There are 1,279,760,000 of these that were made. So if you've got a 1959 Denver Mint Lincoln Memorial penny, unfortunately, it is not rare at all. However, if you've got that Mule Era that we're going to talk about, that could be worth quite a lot of money. Now, as far as the metal content of these coins go, they're going to be the same. The metal content was the same all the way from 1909 up until 1982. 1982 is when they switched over to the mostly zinc combination. So from 1982 until to today's date, that's when we have the 97.5% zinc, then 2.5% copper. So this coin right here is going to be the mostly zinc coin, and then the coin that you see it behind it is mostly, these coins behind it are mostly copper at 95% copper, 5% zinc. Then the one on the top, that is the 97.5% zinc. It's going to have a weight of 2.5 grams versus the older pennies have weights of 3.11 grams. So if you're confused about the metal content of the coin, and you don't want to look up the dates, you could always weigh the coin, and that will give an indication of which metal content it is. It will be either close to 3.11 grams or it'll be closer to 2.5 grams. All right, now let's start talking about the error coin that I've been promising. We're going to move these ones out of the way. We're just going to get our best pennies that we've got for 1959. And we've got for 1958, and I'm going to zoom in on it so you can see an even better look at it. 1959, the mysterious case of the 1959 mule cent. So back in 1959 is when the design change happened, and then in 1986, a retired police officer named Leon Baller announced that he bought a 1959 D Lincoln cent that had the wheat ears reverse design on it. He claims that he paid $1,500 for it. Now, he ended up selling it for an undisclosed amount. However, that coin came back. He tried to sell it at a heritage auction first, then it got pulled because someone said that it was counterfeit, and then it came back. Someone else put it up for auction at the 2010 Goldberg's auction, and it sold for $31,050. So a very, very unique coin right there, worth a lot of money. However, get this, the auction house that sold it said this property is not guaranteed to be authentic and is marketable as is and cannot be returned. So someone bought for $31,050 a coin that might not even be authentic. That is absolutely crazy to me, to pay that much money for a possibly counterfeit coin. It's really, really special there that all that money was generated for a coin that could be counterfeit. Now, of course, that led a lot of other people to try and counterfeit coins, so be very skeptical. You might have kind of a forged coin, but it's definitely worth looking into if you've got that 1959 penny that's got the wheat ears reverse on it. Now, if you've got just a regular 1959 penny, it's going to have to be in great condition to sell for a lot of money. PCGS has actually graded 1,094 of these at a mint state 66, and unfortunately the price guide associated with them is just $25, and recently those have been selling for only $21, $22, $16, $15 at auction. Those ones were graded by PCGS, so PCGS is advertising that those are worth $25, but recent auction results tends to indicate that those are worth in the $15 to $22 range. So even if your coin's in a great condition, it might not be worth too much money, mostly due to the fact of the high mintage of 609 million. So quite a lot of people also took them out of circulation, thinking that the Lincoln Memorials would be very cool pennies to hang on to. A lot of people do that whenever there is a design change to them. Now, the Lincoln Memorial design was kept all the way up until 2010. In 2010, we switch over to this coin right here, which is the Shield Reverse. So I made some other videos about the 2009 and 2010 pennies. 2009 was circulating commemorative pennies, which they had different designs on the reverse. And then 2010, they switched over to the Shield Reverse, and they've been using that reverse ever since. All right, now into the foreign coin showcase. we'll talk about these two coins right here. My voice is getting a little tired, but we'll power through it. So the coin on the left, the bigger of the two coins, that is the 50 centimo coin. That comes to you from the Philippines. Its currency is the peso, which started in 1864, and they've been using it all the way till today's date. The composition of the coin is a copper nickel. It's got a weight of 6 grams, so about double the weight of a penny. It's got a diameter of 12.5 millimeters and a thickness of 1.62 millimeters. What you're looking at is the reverse side of the coin. The reverse side of the coin features a monkey eating eagle. It's attacking to the right. Its face value is to the right, so we see right here. And then we see the scientific name of that eagle down here below. Now, as far as the mintages go for this penny, this one's made in 1986. 1986, there are 120 million of them that were made. Now, on the obverse side of the coin, we see the head of Marcelo H. Del Pillar. He is facing the left. So very high mintages for this coin. It was, of course, later demonetized, so you can't actually purchase anything in the Philippines with this coin. It was demonetized 13 years after this was made in 1998. All right, now we're moving on to the much smaller coin. So this one right here, it's got a diameter of 25 millimeters. Any guesses as to this diameter? This diameter is 17.85 millimeters. So we've gone down quite a bit. This coin was made from 1967 until 1974. The one I've got in front of you was made in 1972. There are 121 million of these that were made. So some consistent mintage between these two coins right here. I will zoom in for you. You're looking at the obverse side of the coin. The obverse side features the shield of the Philippines. And then we've got lettering going around the outside, which translates to a Republic of the Philippines. So Republic of the Philippines going around the outside, shield in the center. We'll flip it over to the reverse side. On the reverse side, we see the head of Francisco Bellistar. It's the left profile of him, so we see him facing the left. Then we see some words that translate to 10 centimos, and then we've got his name right here. All right, everyone, hopefully you enjoyed this video. We got to look at two very cool Philippines coins at the very end. For the most part of the video, we talked about the cool potential mule error coin that is out there, in which it's a combination of the 1959 obverse and the 1958 reverse. Hopefully you found it interesting. Thanks, and best of luck coin collecting out there, everyone. Enjoy!